Here's a New Year message for you to send. Earth is protected by me and my mates, this year and every other. Here we go!
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my review of The Flash Season 6, Episode 2, which I didn't expect to be reviewing, but it's entitled A Flash of the Lightning, I believe. So, I'm just gonna get right into my thoughts once this picks up on the cliffhanger the premiere left off on, with the Monitor talking to Barry about how the Flash has to die in the upcoming crisis, and it mixes in Barry eventually going to see that crisis, well, not seeing it, but we see it, but we don't see all of it, obviously, because that's a big thing coming up in the crossover, but I think that was enough of a teaser to get everybody excited, and there are so many other things to unpack in this episode as well. Things that relate to the Rebirth run of comics, which is probably my favorite Flash run ever. Then there's that everybody's individual storylines as well. Ralph's didn't get much progression, but this was more focused on Cecile, Killer Frost, and their side storylines. And then they had the main storyline of Barry going to, I believe that was Earth 3, to meet Jay Garrick and his wife. Yeah, I'll get to that. So, start of the episode, Barry's sad in the time vault, and he gets inspired to begin with by Iris, and I thought that the way they're writing Iris this season is so much better. It's so much more like how she is presented in the comics. She's actually a likable character for a change, and I think that's just the way that they're choosing to characterize her in this series, because before we're under Todd Halbing, I don't think they really wanted the character to be what she was supposed to be. She was the Felicity of the Flash, and I don't think she is anymore. I think she does contribute like she does to Barry in comics, which is good. Then they're obviously going on into the plot with Barry going to Earth 3. And he initially doesn't want to go to Earth 3. He tries to go to the future where he does die, but he gets blocked by a lot of antimatter. Which that got me excited, because obviously the antimatter is directly related to the Anti-Monitor's plan. He wanted the anti-life equation, and that's where the antimatter came from in the comic books, which I'm assuming they were adapting for this, which was cool, because he got blocked by just a wall of antimatter. And which would have killed him if he wasn't careful. And then he goes to visit Earth 3 to Jay Garrick, and they use a device Jay's been working on that allowed a speedster to transmit their consciousness to another point in time, not time and space, just time. And that allowed Barry to then see all of the possible outcomes for a crisis. So he kind of put Dr. Strange to shame there. So I think he saw millions of outcomes and billions of deaths, which is insane. Obviously I'm hoping, well, not hoping in the terms of, because that's one of my favorite characters to talk about, but more in the fact that I'm hoping that the show does have consequences of him saying that. Obviously the episode does end with him being more hopeful, but I am hoping that going forward they are gonna reference that and use that to build up, which I'm assuming they're going to, because he does end it off with saying we need to prepare the team for a world without the Flash, which I don't think is gonna happen. There's 22 episodes in the season, and Grant Gustin's I think is built for all of them, so I don't think Earth 1 Barry is going to die. He could. He absolutely could, and we could all be shocked, but I don't think he will. Anyway, I'm gonna touch on the side stories going on. So you had Cecile's with the metahuman, which then went into the meta of the week kind of thing, and her suit was really cool, even if at certain shots you could see that it was a mask you could buy at a Halloween store, but we won't go into that. It's a CW budget. There's not much you can do there. But she was being falsely accused of killing people, and her record didn't really match up to what her previous crimes were. And it turned out that her cousin, who was also in interview with her, was the one who'd been taken away by a mysterious organization. Oh, it's finally happening, and I'm so happy about it, but a mysterious organization who's exploiting metahumans. And I know exactly who that is. Black Hole. Black Hole are a big part of the rebirth run for the Flash, and they, especially Barry's late girlfriend, Nina Dawan. I'm gonna butcher that name no matter what, but I don't think the show will do her. But that's somebody who was taken by a Black Hole, and they used the negative Speed Force to create the negative Flash. And the negative Speed Force was teased and how it makes you angrier in the season 5 finale. So they could do something with Barry becoming negative Flash. I don't know if they will, but they're setting up Black Hole, and if they're setting up Black Hole, they could redeem Godspeed, and they could have already redeemed Godspeed. Yes, finally. This new showrunner, he's doing a world of good for this show. He's fixing so many of Todd Helbing's face. He's only 2 episodes in. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much, because ultimately, if he does fail, I will be let down so much, but I don't know if you can tell, I am really excited for this. Moving on to, Caitlin's plot, well, Frost's plot throughout the episode. She, obviously, from the premiere, wanted a life purpose of her own, and this episode tackled her exploring how she wants to express her life, how she wants to get out, and it was initially she was introduced through art, and she put it down because secretly she had been working on a drawing which she couldn't understand how to do it, and she put down Camilla, which on her photographs, and I mean, I can't say she's wrong. Her comment on the pictures being out of focus was not wrong, and those photos were terrible, but whatever photos you got, I guess. Camilla is definitely by far the worst part of this season so far, but Killer Frost's plot by the end of the episode is her learning to accept how she wants to express herself through art, through drawing. It's really nice, and I'm hoping that it's not just Killer Frost we see for the first half of the season, though we do see Killer Frost in the Flash forwards to the Crisis event when she just gets wiped off the face of the earth. I don't know if that means that Caitlin won't appear for the first 8 or 9 episodes, but I don't know if she will. But yeah, and then, like I said, Iris obviously ends up by the end of the episode recruiting this new metahuman to this Central City citizen. She's slowly setting up, well, I say slowly, she's setting up her newspaper company, kind of fast tracking it. And I don't blame this new showrunner for fast tracking it. This should have been something that was set up by season 5 or by the end of season 5. But Todd Helbing just never got around to it. Like he said, he always backseated Iris, and the new Candy's fan was pissed off by that a lot. But she's finally getting the development that she should have had already. But yeah, then moving on to the meta of the week, she was able to control all the different waves of the spectrum. Yeah, I don't think that much of it. She just served her purpose as being the meta of the week, which she did fine. It taught Barry a lesson. He can't outrun ultraviolet waves because those travel so much faster than he possibly could. But yeah, this was the first time I believe Barry was back in action after seeing the Crisis, because that left him paralyzed. It fried his synaptic cortex with his synapses when he saw all of the different possible realities, which makes sense. And he was out of action for most of the episode right until the end. And I did really like flashback to Joe talking to Barry when he was down about how their badge, Barry's emblem, it's a sign. It's a sign, and if you when you hear the call of duty, you can't back down, and it's a sign of resilience. It's not him giving up. Him accepting his fate to die in the crisis isn't him giving up and just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to die." That's nothing I can do about that. That's him being resilient, and that's him standing up to the future that is going to happen. And I did like that. Moving on to blood work in this episode, he's had a couple scenes which were him developing for his blood when then he got whacked around the back of the head at the end of the episode from one of the test subjects. I don't know what's going on with him by the end of the episode, but I know blood work's the main part of season 6A. He's the main villain, but I just really want Godspeed, and I know Godspeed is directly connected to Black Hole, because when he initially disappeared in the comics, he ended up working with Black Hole, I believe. Could be wrong on that. It's been a while since I've read the Flash Rebirth. But if they can cause the Speed Force storm, because at the moment, Godspeed is just somebody who's a fake speedster who's injecting himself with V9 to get the speed. If they can recreate the Speed Force storm, we could actually get a proper Godspeed, which would be amazing. So, yeah. I hope that they redeem or fix Godspeed for into season 6. But yeah, I once again really enjoyed this episode. I'd probably give it an 8.5 or 9 out of 10. Not quite as good as the premiere, but still a really good episode. So yeah, what do you guys think of the Flash season 6 episode 2, which is entitled "The Flash and the Lightning"? Leave it in the comment section below, and if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like video and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.